Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Different Opinion. Today I have a very, very interesting one for you guys. I mean, it's just literally showing how incompetent this government here in Australia is. They built, for everyone who doesn't know about these quarantine camps that we built, right? So they built a few quarantine camps around Australia. So this is pretty much where the international travelers are going to come. They'll stay there till their quarantine period's over, and then they'll go back out into the public and they can travel around. But also, obviously, they had to be vaccinated, all that type of stuff back then. And now there were even a couple times where people got taken off the streets because they actually thought you've been a close contact of someone who had COVID. So they literally come and grab you from your house, transport you to your nearest facility, and pretty much close you in there because you're not allowed to leave your room. You have to stay in your room. You get fed when you get fed, and you get fed what you get fed. So they tried to, build these places out to be a nice holiday place, but in reality, for some people, that might have been a close contact, could have just quarantined at home. Even if they did have it, which is very suspect, they probably didn't have it. And literally authorities came and took them away without any question, which to me is absolutely illegal. Police can't just rock up to your house and say you've been a close contact with someone. For example, let's say I'm at a shop, obviously someone there had COVID, and I might not even be close to the person. I might have only gotten there an hour later. So what they did is they'll still call you as close contact, and then they grab people and took them. I think there was one area where they took 30 people because of one person close contact. So 30 people got taken by the police and put into these quarantine camps forcibly. Not with, they didn't agree with this. They got forced into it. So I know it's nearly like it's almost like it's a normal thing these days, right? Like, but it's not. Where's like the accountability is what I want to know. If I ever got taken against my will for something that isn't even remotely close to what it should be, you should be fighting that. Like, that is ridiculous. And the thing is, people are just sweeping it under the rug like it never happened. So before we jump into this article, if you have been enjoying the content, please subscribe to the channel. It helps you see the videos as well. And then also comment with your thoughts, and also like or dislike the video, depends which one. So we have here from dailymail.co.uk. Inside Australia's 4 brand new COVID quarantine centres now sitting empty and unlikely ever to be used since borders are completely open, despite costing taxpayers $2 billion. And, for the Australian economy, that is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Because we only have about 20-something million people here. So for $2 billion, that is insane amount of money. So the cost of building the sites was $1.37 billion, but operating costs drove the price to $2 billion, and nearly double. That is insane. Queensland government built its own facility and now has 2 huge sites. NT, which is Northern Territory, was the only repurposed site, but government spent $500 million in operating costs. So yeah, I live in Queensland. It is the dumbest thing ever. It is honestly, I can't believe we even did it. I mean, so many people opposed it. So many people knew this would not even be used, and it's just going to be the biggest waste of taxpayer money. Yes, ding, 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 we were right. Like, they are not even using it anymore. It's literally empty. They're not using it for anything. Now, those same politicians have been left scratching their heads looking for inventive ways to use 4 enormous new quarantine centres plus the existing facility at Howard Springs near Darwin in a vain attempt to justify the profligate spending. Nothing will do it, like, unless they make like a freaking Jurassic Park or something like that, which obviously is not going to happen. That'll probably be the only thing I will be happy with. 2 ideas floated by state officials in Victoria, Queensland, and Western Australia include repurposing the expensive white elephants as accommodation for backpackers, despite not even being near where those travellers need or want to be, so no one's going to stay there, or for locals during natural disasters. Yet that'll probably be the only use, really, for natural disaster, but yet again, it's not near where anyone lives. Another suggestion was to keep them for a rainy day, lest another once-in-a-lifetime pandemic could sweep across the globe. Oh my lord. Welcome to our government, everyone. If you have only just been joining, this Australian government, all of them are so utterly stupid. To even go ahead of these things is, I mean, literally, we were all saying how dumb of an idea this is. They should not do it, and they still did it. Australian quarantine costs unmasked. So Howard Springs, more than 64,000 people stayed there during the pandemic. The quarantine centre closed in June. The Centre of National Resilience will cease operations, but will be ready to stand up if we as a territory of Australia need it. Could cater for 2,000 people per fortnight. So 1,000 people per week. Cost $513 million. $513 million. So Toowoomba, Queensland, cost $200 million, 1,000 bed capacity. Pinkenba, Queensland, cost $400 million. This is not even open. Mickleham, Victoria, capacity for 1,000 people, only 85 residents have stayed there per week. Beds scaled back to 250 due to lack of demand. Cost $700 million. Bullsbrook, Western Australia, 500 bed facility, intended for overseas travellers, set to remain empty with quarantine requirements scraped. Cost $200 million. Oh my lord. Former Prime Minister Scott Morrison grand plan was to fund 3 facilities. A $200 million facility was announced in Mickleham. Whatever, we already know how much these cost, right? Typical. Well, any politicians around the world, none of them have accountability, do they? So just wanted to show you this one here. So this is one from Queensland because obviously this is the state I live in. Only 730 guests stayed in this well camp. The $200 million cost one. The cost of the well camp, just fathom this. The cost of the well camp equates to about $325,000 per person who used the facility. The $325,000 per guest that stayed there. That's how much it costs us as taxpayers, people here in Queensland, per person. That is one damn expensive hotel in the opposite direction that we pay for. Not that the people even pay for who stay there. That is honestly ridiculous. And there's literally been people that have been fired for less than this. People have stood down for less than this. This was a trigger-happy decision to try and wedge the formal federal government, and this waste could have funded nearly 2,500 nurses in the middle of a health crisis. Obviously, they are just going to keep blaming the previous government, as we see over and over and over and over. So $325,000 per person. I'll digress there. Just wanted to let you guys know this. If you are in Australia, our government needs to be held accountable one day for doing these stupid things. They could not handle a pandemic, even if it was honestly, the plan was mapped out for them. They'd still fail. They are absolutely atrocious. The worst government that I've ever lived with in my whole life, out of all the countries I've lived in, by far. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. Comment with your thoughts, your honest truth. What do you think about these governments? Please let me know in the comments. And subscribe as well if you want to see my future videos. And thank you for watching. I hope I'll see you guys on the next one.